Let me paint a picture for you. It's 9 in the morning on a Tuesday, and you're sitting in your home office. There's a $6 Starbucks coffee going cold next to your laptop. That's a grande caramel macchiato with extra foam that you didn't even finish. You can smell it, that burnt sweetness mixed with the faint scent of yesterday's takeout containers you still haven't thrown away. 40 minutes ago, you sat down with purpose. You opened that investment spreadsheet, the one you've been telling yourself you'd analyze for the past 3 weeks, the one that's supposed to change your life, the one that's going to finally get you to 6 figures. Your mouse hovered over the first cell. Then you saw the little red notification bubble on your phone. Just one peek, you told yourself. Just 5 minutes. But right now, at this exact moment, you're 3 videos deep into TikTok, watching someone half your age show off a Lamborghini Urus you can't afford, explaining some crypto strategy you don't understand, living a life that feels impossibly far from yours. Your chest tightens slightly. You feel that familiar pang of envy mixed with self-loathing. Then your iPhone vibrates on the desk. Instagram. Someone liked your photo from 3 days ago. Your thumb moves before your brain can stop it. You click. The feed opens. A friend from college is in Bali. Another acquaintance just bought a house. Someone's engaged. You scroll. You double tap. You watch a reel about morning routines that you'll never follow. When you finally snap out of this digital trance and glance at the clock in the corner of your screen, it's 10:30. 90 minutes have evaporated into the void. You've done absolutely nothing that brings you closer to that $100,000 salary you desperately want. Nothing that moves the needle on your net worth. Nothing that your future self will thank you for. You feel lazy, unfocused, guilty, weak.
A knot forms in your stomach because you just wasted 90 minutes of your finite, precious life watching other people live theirs. And this isn't the first time. This is every single day. But here's what you need to understand right now, and I mean really understand. This is not your fault. Your brain has been literally hijacked by the most sophisticated psychological manipulation system ever created in human history. And there is a $1 trillion industry profiting off your distraction while you stay broke. My name is Sam, and I spend way too much time thinking about why intelligent, capable people like you can't seem to get ahead financially, so you don't have to. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Here's the truth that nobody wants to tell you. You are not weak. You are not lazy. You don't lack discipline or willpower. You are being systematically manipulated by some of the smartest engineers and psychologists on planet Earth. The real enemy here has a name that neuroscientists use in their research papers when they study gambling addicts and drug users. It's called intermittent reinforcement, and it is the exact same psychological mechanism that makes Las Vegas casinos utterly irresistible to people who know, logically, that the house always wins. Let me explain how deep this goes. Mark Zuckerberg didn't just create Facebook in a dorm room and hope people would use it. The CEOs of TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, every major tech platform in Silicon Valley, they hired the best neuroscientists, behavioral psychologists, and addiction specialists on the planet and gave them unlimited budgets and one singular mission: turn your smartphone into a portable slot machine that you can never put down. Every notification that pops up on your screen is timed. Every like that makes your heart flutter for half a second is engineered. Every scroll that shows you something slightly different, slightly unexpected, is calculated down to the millisecond to release dopamine in your brain and trap you in a vicious cycle you cannot escape through willpower alone. The colors, the sounds, the haptic feedback when you pull down to refresh, it's all designed by teams of PhDs whose entire job is to bypass your conscious decision-making and trigger compulsive behavior. You are not addicted to laziness or procrastination. You are addicted to cheap, artificial dopamine. And while you're chasing that next digital hit like a rat in a Skinner box, billionaires are building empires with the single most valuable, non-renewable resource you possess: your attention. Now let me explain what is actually happening inside your skull right now, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. In the early 1950s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner was conducting experiments on rats in boxes at Harvard University. He discovered something that would fundamentally change our understanding of human behavior, forever. He found that if you reward a rat with a food pellet every single time it presses a lever, the rat learns the behavior quickly but loses interest fast. The behavior becomes predictable, boring, routine. But if you reward the rat randomly, sometimes it gets food, sometimes it doesn't, but it never knows which press will deliver the reward, the rat becomes obsessed. It presses that lever compulsively, endlessly, desperately, even when it's not hungry. The uncertainty creates an addiction. Skinner called this a variable ratio schedule of reinforcement, and 70 years of research has confirmed it is the most powerful behavior modification tool ever discovered in the history of psychology. It is more effective than punishment, more effective than consistent rewards, more effective than any other technique we know. It is the principle behind every slot machine in every casino on Earth. It is why lottery tickets are a multi-billion-dollar industry, even though everyone knows the odds are absurd. And it is the foundational algorithm behind every social media platform on your phone. Now fast forward 70 years to modern neuroscience. Researchers using brain imaging technology have made a disturbing discovery. People with internet addiction show measurably reduced density of dopamine D2 receptors in their brains, specifically in the striatum, the part of your brain responsible for reward processing, motivation, and decision-making. You know who else has this exact same structural brain abnormality? Cocaine addicts, heroin addicts, alcoholics. Let me say that again so it really lands. Your brain, right now, if you're spending hours per day on social media, has the same neurological damage as someone addicted to hard drugs. Dr. Nora Volkow, the director of the National Institute on Drug Abuse and one of the world's leading experts on addiction, has spent decades studying what happens to the brain when you chronically flood it with dopamine. Her research shows that when you repeatedly activate the dopamine reward pathway through drugs, gambling, or yes, social media, your brain adapts by downregulating, literally reducing the number of dopamine receptors. This is called neuroadaptation. Your brain is trying to protect itself from overstimulation by becoming less sensitive. But this means you need more and more stimulation just to feel normal, just to feel baseline okay. Dr. Anna Lembke, a professor of psychiatry at Stanford University and author of the book Dopamine Nation, has a term for what you're experiencing right now. She calls it the dopamine deficit state. Your brain becomes so chronically desensitized that normal activities, reading a book for 20 minutes, working on a spreadsheet, exercising, having a real face-to-face conversation without checking your phone, become intolerably boring. It's not that you lack discipline. It's that your brain's reward circuitry has been chemically altered to crave constant novelty and stimulation. You are not lazy. Your brain chemistry has been hijacked by $1 trillion industry. Now let's do the math, because this is where the comfortable delusion you've been living in gets shattered. The average American spends approximately 4 hours per day on social media and digital entertainment, according to the most recent data. 4 hours. That's 1/6 of your entire day. That's more time than you spend exercising, reading, learning new skills, and building wealth combined. Let's be conservative and assume you're roughly average. 4 hours per day scrolling, watching, consuming content that will be completely forgotten in 24 hours. The average hourly wage in America right now is roughly $32 per hour. But if you're watching this video, you're probably not average. You're a high earner, or you're trying to become one. So let's use a more realistic number for your earning potential. Let's say $30 per hour, which is roughly $60,000 per year if you're working full-time. That means those 4 hours you spend scrolling are worth $120 per day in potential value. Not money you're losing from your bank account, money you're not making, opportunity cost. Now multiply that $120 by 250 working days in a year. That is $30,000 of potential wealth creation lost annually. Let that sink in for a moment. $30,000 per year that you're voluntarily giving away to Mark Zuckerberg and the algorithm. But here's where the math becomes truly brutal, where the ghost of your future self starts screaming at you to wake up. Let's run a different simulation. Let's say instead of scrolling for 4 hours per day, you made a decision right now, today, to reclaim just 2 of those hours. Just 2. You still get 2 hours of mindless scrolling if you need it. But the other 2 hours, you invest into building something real. Maybe you learn how to code, and within 6 months, you're freelancing for $50 to $100 per hour. Maybe you learn copywriting and start taking clients at $75 per hour. Maybe you learn sales and get a commission-based side hustle that generates an extra $2,000 per month. Maybe you start a small online business, an e-commerce store, a consulting practice, a YouTube channel that eventually monetizes. Let's be extremely conservative and say that those 2 hours per day, invested consistently into a high-income skill or side business, generate just an extra $1,000 per month, starting in month 6. That's $12,000 in year 1, but here's the thing about skills and businesses. They compound. By year 2, you're better, you're faster, you have clients or an audience, you're charging more. That $12,000 becomes $25,000. By year 3, it's $40,000. By year 5, if you stayed consistent, it's entirely realistic that those 2 hours per day have generated between $150,000 to $500,000 in cumulative additional wealth, depending on the path you chose. But you chose TikTok. You chose Instagram Reels. You chose YouTube Shorts. You chose to watch someone else's carefully curated highlight reel, while your real life stayed exactly the same. Here's an even more disturbing way to frame this. Every single hour you spend scrolling today equals roughly $15,000 less in your bank account 5 years from now. That is not a typo. That is not an exaggeration. That is the invisible, compounding cost of distraction. That is your ghost wealth, the money that should be yours, the life you should be living, the freedom you should have,
but will never exist because you gave your attention away for free to corporations that are literally profiting from your failure. So how do you escape this trap? How do you break free from a system designed by the smartest behavioral psychologists on Earth to keep you addicted? I'm going to give you 3 concrete steps that are based on actual peer-reviewed neuroscience, not motivational Instagram quotes or willpower nonsense. Step 1, the 30-day dopamine reset. This is going to sound extreme, but Dr. Anna Lembke's research at Stanford shows it's the only way to restore your brain's natural dopamine baseline. Delete Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube from your phone for 30 full days. Not logged out, deleted. You can still access them on your desktop computer if you absolutely need to, but you must set a physical timer for 30 minutes per day maximum. No exceptions, no just checking messages. Why 30 days? Because it takes approximately 21 to 30 days for your brain to start rebalancing its dopamine receptors after you remove the source of chronic overstimulation. During the first 2 weeks, you are going to feel irritable, anxious, bored, restless, and irrationally angry. That is not weakness. That is clinical withdrawal. That is proof that you were chemically addicted. Your brain is screaming for the easy dopamine hit it's been getting multiple times per hour for years. But after about 2 weeks, something remarkable happens. Books become interesting again. Conversations become genuinely enjoyable. Work becomes tolerable, even engaging. Your attention span starts to return. You can sit through a movie without checking your phone. Your brain is healing. You are reclaiming your ability to focus, which is the most valuable skill in the modern economy. Step 2. Establish what I call the $100 per day focus block. Choose 2 sacred hours every single morning, 6 to 8 a.m. or 8 to 10 a.m., whatever fits your schedule, where your phone is physically in another room, ideally turned off, and you work only on activities that generate real money or build real skills, not busy work. Not answering emails, not planning or researching or learning about something. Actual execution, actual wealth creation. If you're building a side business, you're reaching out to potential clients. If you're learning to code, you're actually coding. If you're investing, you're analyzing stocks and placing trades. If you protect these 2 hours every single day with absolute ruthlessness, refusing to let anything interrupt them, you will generate the equivalent of at least $100 in future value per day. Over a year, that's $25,000. Over 5 years, that compounds into life-changing money. This is not theory. This is basic math. Step 3. Replace, don't resist. This is critical. You cannot just stop consuming dopamine cold turkey and expect your willpower to save you. Your brain will rebel. You will fail. Dr. Lembke emphasizes that you must replace cheap artificial dopamine with healthy, sustainable dopamine. Go to the gym and lift heavy weights. The burn, the pump, the endorphins, that's real dopamine. Go for a walk outside without your phone and actually look at trees and sky. That's dopamine. Read a physical book that requires focus. Cook a real meal from scratch. Have a face-to-face conversation with someone you care about. Build something with your hands. These activities release dopamine too, but in a balanced, natural way that doesn't destroy your brain's reward system or trap you in compulsive loops. The ancient Stoics had a practice called negative visualization, where they would intentionally imagine worst-case scenarios to build gratitude and motivation. Try this right now. Close your eyes and imagine yourself 5 years from now. You're still scrolling. You're still broke. You're still frustrated.
You're 5 years older, but your bank account looks exactly the same. Your skills haven't improved. Your life hasn't changed. Now imagine the parallel version of you that made a different choice today. Which version do you want to be? You are trading your real life for a digital simulation, and the exchange rate is terrible. Every single time you choose the scroll, you are saying yes to Mark Zuckerberg's wealth and no to your own. Every time you give your attention to an algorithm, you are voting with your life for someone else's dream instead of yours. The richest men in the world already figured this out. They know that in the 21st century, attention is the new oil. It's the most valuable commodity on earth because everything else, products, services, ideas, influence, power, flows from attention. And you are giving yours away for free, multiple hours per day, every single day. B.F. Skinner proved 70 years ago that variable ratio reinforcement is the most powerful behavior control mechanism in existence. Silicon Valley took that academic research and weaponized it. They turned your phone into a dopamine slot machine that you carry in your pocket 24 hours a day. The result? Your brain now has the same neurological profile as a cocaine addict. Measurably reduced dopamine receptors. Inability to delay gratification. Compulsive behavior you cannot control through conscious effort alone. But here's the truth they desperately don't want you to know. The truth that would destroy their entire business model if everyone understood it. Real wealth is not about having millions of dollars in a bank account. Real wealth is not a Lamborghini or a mansion or a private jet. Real wealth is having complete control over your time, your attention, and your focus. It's waking up and deciding what you're going to think about instead of having an algorithm decide for you. It's being able to sit in silence for 10 minutes without feeling anxious. It's having the focus to work on something difficult for 2 hours straight and make real progress. Because here's the ultimate truth. You can always earn more money. The strategies exist. The opportunities exist. You can learn new skills. You can start businesses. You can invest. Money is renewable. But you can never, ever, ever get back the time you lost. Every hour you spent scrolling is gone forever. You can't buy it back. You can't earn it back. It's just gone. And the question that remains, the only question that actually matters, is simple. Are you going to continue being the product, the thing that gets sold to advertisers, the attention that gets harvested and monetized by corporations? Or are you finally going to become the creator of your own life? If this video helped you see your finances differently, if it made you uncomfortable in a way that might actually change something, smash that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges how you think about money. I'll see you in the next one.